Good, I guess.
Well, publicly traded companies and something called Sarbanes-Oxley will make you lose your religion.
I understand.
I forgot to put on that. The podcast.
Commissioner Boyd.
Riley's in San Diego.
We brought handouts.
Take one and pass.
Correct way.
So separate, sign the Oh, I mean, no space.
Oh, okay. I don't think nobody else, but they won't, everybody's on there.
So it is one more, like fun and the, just the prefix.
Very arbitrary.
Yeah.
I appreciate him being around me today.
Chief Smiley. Chief Smiley.
Okay, I thought I was the only one.
Thank you for whatever you did Saturday.
Just the thing, so not a need.
I'm okay.
We had two trespassers that
I love
worked
the graphic.
Friday, Saturday.
I'm trying to remember if I left it.
They were having their own happy hour. That's what I heard.
Yeah, but then once we get settled in, maybe once in a while.
See how it goes. You don't want to do it too much because then people quit.
I don't have yours memorized either, but I do have Kathleen's.
It's really fun.
Yeah. I have to say exactly.
It's been what?
Chief. A copy of the agenda.
I'll say mine.
There's only one copy.
One thing to do. Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark. Don't be I'm sleeping.
Part of something. All right, I would like to call the February 3rd board meeting to order. If you don't mind, Commissioner Boyd, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Commissioner Martin, would you do the invocation, please?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give thanks unto you for all the things that you have done. We know that you've done great and mighty things. Father, it's not by our own power, might, nor will do we even speak, do we even stand, but Father God, through your grace and mercy abiding with us. Now, Father, as we sit to dispatch the business of the town, and endow us with wisdom and knowledge, Lord, that we'll make the right decisions on behalf of the people whom we represent. And we give thanks unto you for all things. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Commissioner Boyd, would you
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is to adopt the agenda for the February 3rd, 2025 board meeting. Do I have a motion to adopt our agenda?
There is.
All right, I have a first and I have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 4-0. Next on the agenda is the approval of the January 6, 2025 board minutes.
I make a motion that we adopt the minutes.
Second.
All right, I have first and second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 4-0. Next on the agenda is comments, and I'd like to say a few things. First off, I'd like to congratulate Elizabeth Sasser on the completion and passing of her North Carolina notary class and exam. Congratulations. I have spoken with Senator Sowry and Representative Larry Strickland about the upcoming state budget and was asked to present a request for funds. After a great discussion with both gentlemen, the town will seek funds for radio read meters, public safety equipment for the police department, and an LED communication sign for the town hall. I would also like to congratulate our very own Commissioner Robinson for taking on the role of our town police chaplain. I know you will do a great job of covering our police department in prayer and looking after our officers. So thank you for that. I would also like to remind this board that we are planning a retreat. Monday is February 17th. Dinner will be served from 5 to 6 p.m. The trip will begin at 6 and will be facilitated by the Council of Government. Are there any other commissioners who'd like to say anything?
I'd just like to give thanks to the members of the board and the volunteers with the library for the efforts that they have put forth over a period of time. I am excited to see this long a process play out, and we are near the I wouldn't say we are near the end, but we're closer now than we've ever been before. And I just want to say thank you to all those who have participated.
I second that, Commissioner Martin. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Commissioner Hart. Next on the agenda is public comments. Public comments is that time that any citizen can address the board on an item that is not on the agenda. Speakers are asked to keep the order and balance that all public comments will be kept to 3 minutes. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address. Speakers shall at all times maintain proper decorum and present all comments in a civil manner. Would anybody like to address the board? Sheffield.
Jeff Sheffield, 402 East First Street over on the east end of town. I got two items. Number one is this tax business and revaluation. It's quite an interesting subject when you start digging into it. It's a challenge to get to the bottom of the records, and I'm concerned about the amount of growth that we have here versus other parts of the county, and most of our homes over here don't have a lot of history, whereas over towards Clayton and the other areas, they do have more recent history. And the sticker shock of this reevaluation, I don't believe is going to be as difficult on them as it is going to be for us over here. So that's the first one, and I'm doing some more research. I will most likely be back, but I kind of feel like the commission is kind of like our advocates with the county also. We do have county commissioners, but we pay town taxes, and we don't need to get walloped. I just got hit with $79 a month extra in homeowners insurance. You go and add that up, and I am working, but somebody on a fixed income, this is working folks over. So I want to bring up taxes and ask y'all to be much in thought and prayer about that, because this is going to be an interesting thing to see how it plays out. My other item is traffic over on our side. We know we have the new subdivision coming, and I don't have a problem with the subdivision. What I do have problems with is we live on East First Street. It's become a racetrack at times. We've got people coming down through there. They're doing way over the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. There are, to me, 3 solutions that we could look at. One would be putting a speed bump or 2. The second would be not a bump, but a hump. And the third one would be to put up some 4-way stops at Walnut and possibly at Church. I see people speeding down speeding down 2nd Street a good bit as well. This is only going to get worse, and with the subdivision coming, now's the time to fix it. Rather than waiting for a lot of folks to get in there, then try and do something about it. It's going to be much more difficult. Let them already have to deal with it when they move in. The other part of this is big vehicle traffic. I went back and dug out the old ordinances, or the ordinances I believe that are in effect. Title 7 is the traffic code. And I'm going to give Michael King this copy that I have. Those streets over there are through traffic restricted. The ordinance says it shall be unlawful for any person, firm, corporation, or business to cause to be operated upon a street as defined and listed as a regulated street within Chapter 75, Schedule 2. No through trucks. Signs should be posted or are posted. There are none posted. Any through truck or through heavy equipment as defined in this chapter, it would be a penalty. The town is exempt. And the other part of this, it's really interesting because it specifies the speed limits for all the streets in town, and it specifically calls out those streets as being 20 miles an hour. And our police department can't be everywhere at the same time. And there is no speed limit sign coming from the direction of the subdivision when you're on First Street. So people don't know, but they come down from the county direction out there, and they come through there, and after they go over that speed bump that's up there towards 3rd Street, they have a pretty good head of steam when they come around those corners, and you get some trucks moving through there at a pretty good rate. You're going to have also a detrimental effect on those houses if you have a lot of weight on them, and I think that's what the commission years ago was trying to prevent, was all that additional weight on those streets. They can come up Edwards, but some no-through signs, and then some pleasant stops by the police department if they catch trucks over there that are not delivering on those streets and rather headed into the subdivision. And I don't want to do anything to prohibit or impede the subdivision process, but we also need to protect what we got. And Glory, we have young children out there in that area. You know, areas of town go through spurts where there are no children. We now have children. I saw a father with 2 little girls riding down Second Street or First Street the other day, and we certainly don't want to deal with a fatality or an injury out there. So those are my comments. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is the community building decision. I'm going to make a few comments, and then we'll take it from there. There are 5 key points I'd like to remind everyone of. 1, this project is going into year 8, and we still don't have a new or remodeled building. Number 2, Representative Strickland has spoken with T.A. King and myself. He has strongly expressed that we need to get this project moving quickly. There is a deadline and it must be met. Number 3, the lowest bid for this project is good for 30 days. We cannot continue to delay this project. Number 4, the library asked the board in 2024 to table the project for 6 months, and the board agreed. This was so the library could find more funds. At this time, we need to move forward with the funds the library has presented to the board. The library was able to find more funds. Number 5, the town has spent approximately $35,000 with Dunn and Dalton since 2017, and we still have no building. In addition to these 5 points, here's a summary of what the town has done over the last 3 months. The town of Princeton requested formal bids for this project on November 5th, 2025. This bid was based off the board-approved community building design. We received 4 formal bids: Steelcraft Construction, Summerlin Contractors, Heritage Construction, Gregory Development LLC, and 1 non-formal bid from Alexander Design Build. On January 21st, Princeton Library representatives Hope Doherty, Joy Woodard, and Amy Louvier met with town officials, Commissioner Holmes, Town Administrator King, and me. This meeting was a very positive and productive meeting that everyone left in agreement. The library did, however, ask for a few modifications, which were sent out for quote. They are as follows: increasing the library's side size to 40 by 50 or 2,000 heated square feet. Adding an 8 by 10 office on the library side. Adding an awning at the front entrance of the library side. Adding an awning at the rear entrance on the library side. Adding a sidewalk from the rear entrance to the front entrance on the library side, which includes adding landscaping inside the sidewalk on the library side. Adding 1 handicap electronic entrance to the front of the library side. Adding 2 security cameras inside the library, and upgrading the LVP to tile flooring in the bathroom, and adding tile 4 foot up the wall in the restroom on the library side. As of today, these modifications bring the new project total cost to $1,134,355. The library, as of January 21st, has the following funds in hand. First Citizens, $59,850, Wealth Management, $259,911.26, and library total cash of $319,761.26. The library also has presented the town with a letter from PALS that they are to receive another contribution through a pledge in the amount of $110,000. We were told this pledge would be in the library's bank account by January 31st. With this committed pledge and the current funds on hand of $319,761.26, the library should have a total of $429,761.26 for the project. The town has a total of $753,834 for this project. Can you put up this? The total combined funds from the library, that includes the pledge promise plus the town funds, brings the total allocated funds for the project to $1,183,595.26. The current lowest bid is held by Heritage Construction. We have worked hard asking questions of each bidder to make sure the bids are equal After many discussions with all respectful bidders, I would like to recommend that we move forward with Heritage Construction so we can begin this project. And then I would like to ask the commissioners to go to the big printed sheet with the colors, which is the one that is on the screen up top. And if you look here, we've got bids 1 through 4, each with the name of the contractor who bid, the amount they bid. It was a single slope, so if you look at Gregory Construction, it was a single slope metal building, and you can see that across the board. Heritage Construction quoted an A-frame building. If you look at the square footage below, they're different. Gregory Construction, if you look down to the bottom under total, they come in way high, so we did not go back to them and ask them to update any quotes. But we did go back to these other people. And by getting that updated quote, the adjustments, which is down under the first dark black line, shows what we adjusted for. And we added in parking lot, up top we added into the quote, the parking lot, the security, the appliances, internet, furniture, and contingency of $100,000. So if you come down to the bottom, the total, just above the second black line, you see the totals of each building. Heritage Construction had the best quote of $1,111,517. If you want to look at the cost per square foot, that's in the next table underneath the second black line. And it shows that Heritage had $165.37 per heated square foot. Steelcraft, $166, Sumlin, $176, and Gregory, $232. We did have a quote by Alexander Design Build, but it was not a formal quote, and they said around $169 a square foot. But they knew of none of the amenities that we were asking for. So if we take the total estimated quote of Heritage, which is $1,111,517, you see an arrow drawn down to the bottom to that amount, and we add what our meeting with the library was on 121, so these were the requested changes. We had them quoted, come up to $22,838. Brings our total cost with requested changes to $1,134,355. With town funds and total library funds, we have $1,073,595.26 for a discrepancy of $60,758.74. So as of right now, with no additional library funds, none of the pledges, we are $60,759 short. But that gives us, we do have a $100,000 contingency figured, so that's roughly $39,000 short. So with that being said, I would like to ask Hope Doherty to step forward to speak as president of PALS. If you would, approach the podium at this time and state your name and address.
I have
obviously.
the proof that I
Okay.
promised for the additional funds.
Okay. And just for this, we would like to just talk to one person, the board would, and that way you can answer our questions, and that'll keep the confusion down and help improve our minute taking, and also follow Robert's Rule of Orders. Okay, so what do we?
Those are the checks. I don't have them in the bank because they
Okay.
came in too late to get them in the bank. So, but that's the proof of the checks that I have, and the other. Those are the two checks that came in, and then that is the the other account that just got funded with the 58. Actually, it's more than 58,000. So I have more than what I promised.
So is this 58, is that the wealth management account that was at,
Yes.
which
Three
one was that?
something.
Was that the 17 or the 29? These are both First Citizens. This is RBC.
Mhm.
Is that
the 3,000. Or 259, I think it's 259 on that one.
So this is an addition to the 259.
Mhm.
Okay. So we've got 59. So that would put us right where we need to be, I believe.
That's what I promised, so that's what I'm delivering.
That's awesome.
It is completely awesome.
Can you go move to the design that we're talking about? All right, so the design on the screen is what we're looking at. This is what's been quoted. This is what's been updated. There was an email sent after this quote from the library, from you, Ms. Doherty, that asked for a sharing of bathrooms, sharing of foyer. I personally don't want to do that, but the board makes the decision.
I know.
And so what we have quoted is this. We've got the awnings, we've got everything that was requested that day into this quote. You've got tile in your bathroom, you've got a hand dryer, you've got a baby changing station, you've got everything in that bathroom just like the other side of the building is being done. So we've got all of that done, and in the money with $100,000 contingency for the $1,134,355. So I guess what this board needs to decide is how do we want to proceed, and are we ready to proceed? And is the library ready to proceed?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner Martin, and I do appreciate your kind comments at the beginning, and I also appreciate that prayer. Thank you. Yeah, we did meet, and as I said in this email, we did meet. We met with part of PALS that day with you and Michael King, and it was a positive meeting, and we chatted about everything and asked for more because we had them. I believed, and it's proven that we had the money to pay for our side with 2,000 square feet. And then when we met with the full board, who's here tonight, we looked at that and thought, because we do have another donor who would like to see shared bathrooms. We have a donor who is willing to give $42,000 if we get that shared lobby. If we take off that front door and just use the door that's already there, we take off the awning. I've had quotes from 2 different people that would be around $27,000 we'd save for the extra bathroom and our 2,000 square feet. We would save the $7,000 for the awning, and that about $27,000 with all of those things you mentioned in that bathroom. And plus, it would also give us the space for the used book room that we're losing, that we have now. And so many times before this board, you have asked me, how is the library standing on its own? When will the library stand on its own? Well, the answer to that is we're a nonprofit, and I don't see that happening yet or at all. Libraries don't stand on their own, but that used book room is a way that we generate money. We've generated about $1,000 just in the 2 different times that we opened it last fall. I don't think that's something to shake a stick at. So, yes. Once we met on Tuesday of that day, then the board met on Saturday. It was just days later. It wasn't like I was waiting a whole month. We met just a few days when we could all get together. We're all volunteers and have other things to do in our lives. And so we met Saturday morning and came up with this and emailed you that afternoon. I don't look at a lot of emails on Saturday, so I didn't expect you to look on that day. But I wanted you to know that we got it in as quickly as we could. I get that we have been at this for years. Commissioner Martin and I can speak to that, absolutely. We are the ones in here. Ms. Williamson, I can't remember if you were the secretary at the beginning. Okay, so the three of us have been here for the long haul. And yeah, we're tired of talking about it, and we really want this new building so that we can serve the patrons. But I don't want to just hurry up and get it done just because everybody's tired of it. We went through this thoughtfully, we went through it carefully. We think we are saving money, and we are being good stewards of money that is donated to us. This is not our money. This is not Hope's vision. This is a vision for the town that is growing. You know, as we're standing here, people are moving into this town, and we want something that can serve everybody in the best way, and using not only our funds, but your funds. I mean, the town's funds. It's not the board's money, it's the town's money, and I think that's the best way. I think we have builders in this room right now. We also have people in this room right now who've built our own houses, and we know that bathrooms are one of the most expensive part of a build, kitchens and bathrooms. And we're talking about in that area of a building to have 3 bathrooms. That just, to me, it doesn't make common sense. Also, the library is filling up that space 17 hours per week. That's another reason that it just seems like it doesn't make common sense to use the money in that way. When it would be an easy fix, it looks like. I'm not a builder, but all you have to do is change that door that you have for us and put a door on that firewall. And there are things called fire doors, 2 and 3 or whatever hour fire doors that you could put in that firewall. We'd still get the firewall to separate us, but we'd have that we'd have more room, and we'd save money, and we'd get more donations for the library.
That I'm just looking at the drawing, and I met with members of the library board, and I'm sure that everybody here has. And I'm looking at the bathroom, which is a 10 by 80 square feet. And the concept of what I have heard being talked about, that yes, the main function is a library, but they plan to do several other things that they were going to do all art, that they may have different events that they will still have on their side without utilizing the meeting room of the town. And so if we only allow them to have a 10 by 8 bathroom, it would be extremely difficult for them to have larger events because you don't have the bathroom capacity. I mean, and you don't want people coming to your event and they miss half of the event because they're having to wait to get in the bathroom. And apparently with this 10 by 8, that's a bathroom that that I'm thinking that just one person can go in. So, if we would allow, move the bathrooms where both sides can use the bathroom regardless, not only does it save us money, but to me, it would give the library a much better chance of being able to host multi-type events that are much larger and if the library is willing to try to raise their funds, then they need to be able to have that ability to do it with full access instead of this, because I see this 10 by 8 as an impediment to them being able to put on some of the fundraisers that they probably would like to.
I would like to say that bathroom is big enough for code and it does meet what is required for that space. Also, the original space for the library was 1,250 square feet on the new drawing in there. They have 1,760 square feet around these rooms. They have 3 rooms carved out here. One is office, one is storage, and one is a bathroom. So they have 510 square feet more than they had in the new building that was proposed.
And, okay, I have 2 things to say. First, thank you for bringing up the events. I forgot to mention that we have our first lecture series starting in March 18th. Stephen Godwin is coming to speak to seniors on our senior citizens for senior scams to be aware of. So that's our first one, and we're planning to have at least one per quarter, things like that, events like that, to just give information to the community. To speak to the size of the room, yes, we've asked for more. When we were so excited when we first saw the plans 8 years ago for 1,250 square feet, because we took up 440, something like that, square feet in the high school, that corner of the high school. Commissioner Boyette, you might remember that.
I do.
Okay. And so when we were coming from 400 and we were looking at 1,250, we thought, oh my goodness, that is fabulous. That is wonderful. And then when we were able to move in, by the grace of this town board, to the back room of the old community building, which is, I don't know what square footage is now. Is it 1,250 now, Arne?
1,700.
It's what?
Well, the total of everything is about 17.
So we thought, wow. And then in 1 year's time, we have tripled, Ame and Hilda have tripled the amount of people coming through the door in 1 year. So that's why when we saw the amounts of donors, and I went back and looked at these big donors, it's not just one donor, we have 6 different donors who are giving us donations like 50,000, 31,000, 10,000, they're coming in. We got another check today, in fact. When we saw that, wow, while we're building it, instead of having something to add on to in a couple years, why not go for 2,000? If we can pay for it, go now while the people are getting on the train with us and giving us money. And that's why we asked for an extra 2,000, because we are not looking at what we're doing right now. We are thinking about the growth that we are expecting for the library in the next 5 years, maybe 10 years, so that we won't have to come back and we've had this discussion, oh, this building is so easy, you'll just go out the walls and add on. Well, that's wonderful that we can do that, but if we've got the money now, I would like to do it so we don't have to, in 2 years, come back to you and say, we need more space. That's why we are asking for $2,000 now, and we have the money to pay for it, so that's why we requested it. We have the money and we have patrons coming in.
And I think it's great that we're going after the 2,000. I mean, you've got the money raised for it. I think it needs to be done. And you're picking up an additional 750 square feet more than what we had on the original plan.
Yeah, like we're
Now, you
excited.
do have your bathroom in there, but that is an additional, 510 square feet more. So, the reason it was done as is, you talk about the library functions, the community building also has functions. And I know nobody rents it now, but if you go into it, I wouldn't rent it. And that's what we're after. We want to get this as a rentable space. And it needs to work similar to what the farm works. Something like the farm at 42 or the farm at 95 works, so that, they can come in and have that as an option. Have their own bathrooms and have their area to themselves, along with a catered kitchen. It will not be a full service kitchen, but a catered kitchen, and storage, along with bathrooms and so forth. And then with the covered porch at the end, or the covered pavilion at the end, it can have its, if we ever have a concert, we're able to put it on there, is what the plan is. So we got all the aspects of the building. We don't have all the curves, but it is a new building. And this will take the old building out, and this also allows the library to hopefully stay where they're at while we build this building. We'll move them in, and then we're gonna take that building away along with the parking lot, and we'll finish up. So it's gonna be kind of a workaround, but it can be done. And this building is staked off right now. 2 pins are in the parking lot beside the sidewalk at the back of the community building, and then we have 2 pins driven in the ground, and flagged, that are high stakes.
And I understand about wanting to rent it out. I mean, I think that'd be great. I think, sure, earn money anytime you can. But a key at that door to lock it, and nobody's going to be going from the library into that side. We won't be in there at the same time that much. And I don't understand why a key to lock that door, that side off, so that we can use the bathroom when we need it. And save so much, and then be open to more donations. That's what I just don't understand.
Well, we want the community building to be able to succeed too,
Yeah.
along with the library.
So do we.
So that's why we're saying separate spaces, or I'm saying separate spaces. And that way, the community building can stand on its own, and the library can stand on its own. And if anybody else would like to jump in, please do.
And I think too, because with the biggest part of these funds are time critical. We really need to go ahead and make a decision to move forward. I'm listening to everything in the 2,000 square feet that we have added, that the library has asked for. I think when I met 2,000 square feet deep, and I think 17 and some change this way. I'm all for what we have here to really, let's go ahead on and do what we need to do. I mean, if there's any, after sitting there and looking at it, if any other donations that would probably come in, maybe even make your side a little bit wider. Instead of having 17 and some change this way, maybe you could go, out another few feet, depending on whatever the donations may be. But I don't want to let a door, where we place a door, be a stumbling block or a hold up for us. But I do think that, like I say, if there's more money that can come in, maybe going wider would help a little bit more. And if need be, you probably add another bathroom in there, because you'll have more space the wide way. That's just my concept of thinking.
Well, and that $42,000 I mentioned won't come in if we don't have the shared space. So we won't have more money to do what you're proposing, Commissioner
And I
Martin.
guess my question would be, why would $42,000 in the placement of the door, if whoever's going to donate that money, if you're getting more space wider, they still should be able to want to donate that 42 instead of just saying, oh, we'll just move a door here, we'll give you $42,000. I think after we met and I really sat down and rationalized it, it didn't quite make too much sense to me. If the person was going to donate it, they should say, well, hey, if I see that I can help you make it wider, then if we don't put a door here, I'll still help you make it wider. That to me would have been saying, hey, you know, I can see it benefiting us this way than this way.
So, I don't think that we're ever going to come to an agreement with this, to be honest, because the PALS board is doing an excellent job of being good stewards of the money they have in hand, the pledges, there's no doubt. And the town is looking out for the best interests of the building in which we are going to own. And I've been on this board 2 months, and this has been the number one thing that has stuck is this bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I have spent a lot of time talking to a lot of people about this. I have thought very hard, I've prayed very hard about this because I support the library, y'all know that. I mean, I'm in book club, I love book club. And I have to put on my town board hat and I say to myself, okay, this is a building the town's going to own and the town's gonna have to maintain and the town's gonna be responsible for what's in the best interest of the town. And I feel so led to say that I believe there does need to be separation. And I understand from y'all's seat, I do understand the access. But I go through my mind, I think about safety. That was the first thing that came to my mind, is you've got people that'll be able to come through, if that was a door there, into the bathrooms, unattended, while there's events going on other there, or there's public coming in and out. And you can't see them, you don't know where they're going, they could be children. There could be an event going on, it could be a retirement party, it could be a conference, it could be something. At the same time that there's a children's event going on, and there could be an overflow, and that may be rare that could happen, but it could. And these folks over here are paying to use that space. Mm-hmm. And if I'm looking at it from a building that the town owns and is responsible for, and is ensuring that if you're paying us to use this, we're gonna give you a space that you can fully maximize and use, they should be able to have that. Now, I wish that it could be this concept of openness and a foyer that is clearly open for everyone to serve and say, this is the community center, this is the library, this is for everyone. But if it comes down to a question that I don't think we are ever going to come to an agreement on, I have to side with the fact that the town needs to protect itself. The town needs to have established boundaries as to what we are maintaining, what we are serving, what our maintenance folks are gonna be looking at after and cleaning, the utilities we're gonna be paying, and it should be looked at the same for the library. I mean, that is my opinion at the end of the day on it.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
I have one. If we move forward with this, is the library board ready to move forward?
Okay.
Okay. That's a yes, right?
Yes.
All right.
Can I say something else
Yes.
too? Because I look at Hope, and Hope is one of the people I admire most in this world. I don't know if she knows that. Separate from everything before me even being on the board, she's one of the people I admire most. And I can see so much in her because she just wants to do what's best for the library. And these people who are giving money to the library and wanting to do what's best for the library. And so this is a fight that's very dear to you. And I wish that we could make it all work. I do, I really do. And I'm so happy that you have the passion that you have.
I am disappointed, but I have prayed over this. Every time I met with every one of you, and today, all day long, when I'd get a text and I would start my heart, and I would say, okay, God, no, this is not Hope's building. And I left everything for you. We wrote an excellent email. You know how we feel. You know we love this community and this library. I have done everything that I came to do. I tried as hard as I could, and you are going to vote against it. And that, I said, God, your will. That's what I was praying. I was not praying for my will. I was praying for God's will to be done tonight. And so we'll move forward with 2,000 square feet in a new building. That
But
is
when you say
fabulous.
that we're voting against it, though, I wish that it wouldn't be that way. I wish we were voting for this beautiful space,
Absolutely.
2,000 square foot, not
Absolutely.
against one component to it. I mean, I think this is an overall good thing, and this
We
is just one
are
aspect that's
excited
not.
about 2,000 square feet in a brand new building. Yes. But at the end of the day, you're voting against shared
I
bathrooms.
understand, I understand.
Just got that in. Thank you so much.
Let me say this, Ms. Hope, and to your staff, thank y'all for really putting in a lot of hard work. Like I say, when we met the other week, I saw the passion, and I saw the zeal to get it done. I even saw the passion for the community, and thank you, because I look at it as whenever my grandkids come to town, I can take them to the library, and I can take them to a place that I know that they will enjoy because of the people there, the heart that you guys have for it. Whichever way this vote goes tonight, I look at it and I'm excited, like you guys, to finally have a library and a great community building. I look at what we have now, and community building wise, we saw this 2 years ago for Christmas. What we thought was going to be 25, 30 people coming in and watching kids sing ended up being almost 300 people. And if the fire marshal or our chief would have come through there, he would have, wanted to be on that rare form, he could have shut it down. But to see that we are growing and there's limitless possibilities with all of this stuff, that's the part that keeps me excited, that makes me look at it and say, hey, we are growing. I remember 25 years ago when I came to town, I looked around and I asked my wife, I was like, this is where you came from? It was like a culture shock to me. I'm a kid from the up north, but to come here and to say that I can settle down in a town where I really feel like I can call this my retirement place, and to see it's growing, not by leaps and bounds right now, but we're in the process. We're intentional about everything that we do. That's my word for the year, intentional. And so I'm excited to see that, we're intentionally trying to do better. The good part about it is we're still leaving room for growth. So that's the great part that I'm excited about. So thank you for all your time, your effort, to everybody.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Doherty. I have a question, one more question. The library funds, when would they be able to be brought to the town and so we can sign a contract and move forward? Is that something that can be done within the next week?
So are you saying that we need to have everything? I mean, if we,
Like an escrow?
Well, we're gonna have to have money to move forward. We don't wanna sign a contract without the funds, knowing that the town has the funds. And we go and design a big building like this and then we can't move forward because we don't have the funds. Or if it's in the wealth account and it loses value, then we don't have the funds. And so I'm thinking that we need to take them out and bring them to the town for that amount of or whatever makes that up, how to figure it out. But, bring that forth, and then we'll start the project, and, I mean, this is gonna move fairly quickly, is what we're being told with the volatility going on in the market with tariffs and things like that. We need to sign this contract and get it rolling, so, we would like to have the funds before we sign the contract.
Okay. Okay.
Is-
Yeah, I mean,
We'll shoot for a week.
All right, so by February 10th, would that work? Today's the 3rd, what's the?
Ten's Monday.
okay, I mean, yes, because that's not just a bank, we have to, yeah.
Well, you got some stock options there, right?
Yeah, we gotta-
Right.
yeah.
All right, so if we can get the majority of it, so I'd say let's go ahead and plan for the 10th, try to get all of it by the 10th. And if it bleeds over 4 or 5 days, I think it'll be okay, but we would like to have the majority of it by the 10th.
Okay.
Understand.
Is that okay? Everybody? Yeah. Okay, so I wrote a motion today, and I'm gonna read it, and then if anybody wants to add anything to it, or is that what I need to do? I have a motion here to read, or does someone want to make a motion?
Well, if,
I have one more
Yes,
question, and my design person has asked, because I don't know this. We really want those rooms to be 10 by
10 by
12
12.
instead of
8 by 10.
8 by
Even
10.
walls.
Even the bathroom?
Yeah, so it's a line, you know.
Oh, so
straight
it's
line.
line.
Yeah, that way it's a cheaper.
Can you step back up to the podium, please? Just for minute taking and so forth. Microphone.
Sorry, oh yes. 10
10
by 12 instead of what's on it right now, just to make it a little bit bigger, and then they're all three the same. So 10 by 12 instead of
8 by 10.
8 by 10.
Okay, but leave the building as is.
The building's fine, it's just inside, yes, it's
All right.
just,
Another thing is that on the January 25th email, it said add a deep sink in the storage room and counter space shelving in the storage room.
yes.
Is that something that you're wanting to do in the storage room?
We would really like to.
Yes, the deep sink, because a vanity sink won't help with crafts, things like that.
So we will check that out and make sure, and, I mean, you have the full amount and maybe a little extra, I can't.
It
so I
was
think
a little extra,
so I
because I
think
said
we're good
58,
with
and
that.
it was
Um,
over 58.5, so.
Okay, so we should be good to do those things. I think we can
Okay.
do that for you.
Thank
Great.
you.
Is there any questions, any more questions on the drawing?
Any more
Take the
questions?
10, take the 12 feet down,
Yeah.
not this way,
Not
but
out.
down, 10
Gotcha.
by 12, and it goes down. Does that make sense?
Okay, you got that, Michael? So each room would be 12 feet by 10, 120 square feet each room. Okay. Even the office.
Just because it would be even, that's the, I mean, the wall, even.
I mean, the bathroom doesn't have to be that big, but it could be 8 by 12 if it could fit in there. Where's the bathroom? Right there.
The bathroom could technically stay where it's at because it meets the requirements of
Right, yeah.
handicap. As long as it meets those requirements, you should be
8 by
fine.
10, and then take these two rooms 12 by 10,
Okay.
or 10 by 12.
10 by 12 and then add some shelves and one deep sink. Is that like a
Like a laundry sink.
fiberglass one, plastic one, steel one?
Just as long as it's bigger than what we
The
have.
cheaper,
And we want
Just
something
a cheap
secure.
sink.
We
Yeah.
want something.
Bathroom
Marble.
stays 8 by 10.
Yes.
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 The bathroom stays, and then these move to 12 feet each.
12 by 12.
10 by 12, so you're adding 4 feet in each.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioner on the community building sign? Okay, does everybody understand that the kitchen will be a catered type kitchen? It will not have a range in it. That way we don't have to worry about cleanup of that. When ranges get filthy and get filthy quick.
I do have one question,
Yes, sir.
and this is for you ladies. Looking at it, and you have 10 by 8, you want the front to enlarge, but leave the restroom the same size? Now, and this is just my concept of thinking. If you enlarge the restroom as well, couldn't you put either 2 commodes or 2 urinals? I mean, well, a urinal and a commode? This is just my thinking.
I don't think you can and meet the handicap.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you gotta be able to back a wheelchair up beside that toilet.
Okay.
And it's up to use
Okay.
it if someone's in.
All right. Well, X that out.
Thank you for talking. Appreciate the input.
All right, I have a motion here, if y'all would like me to read it, and then someone can do it, or?
Can the design person come up here and talk to you? Because I really,
Yes.
I really think that Commissioner Robinson is right. I really think you can make that bathroom bigger I think I calculated 18 feet underneath, enough for a circulation desk, and then you still had some room. And I really think that you could add more, have your handicap and one more stall to accommodate that. And what does that look like? I don't know, but I really think you could make that bigger.
That toilet's gonna be in approximately 3 to 4 feet. So you're talking about adding 4 more feet to that room. And another toilet. Now, that starts
Can we
out-
look down? Can we look down? Slide it up. I think I had calculated, 18 feet. And we had done the circulation desk about 9, right?
If you're adding 4, 4, and 4, that's 12. So now you
Oh,
only got
shoot.
6 feet.
You're right. You're right. You're right, you're right, you're right. I meant to move the circulation.
And even so, just the design of the bathroom, you basically can only have one person in there at a time because you can't have male in there with a female.
Yeah, it'd be, both men and women's, and, it does have a baby changing station.
Excuse me?
It does have a baby changing station, which will probably be needed at the library.
Yes. Yes, we don't. We were just talking about that.
yeah.
It has a long neck fob.
Good job. We tried. We tried. Off the cuff, we tried. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
thank you.
All right, so,
Did you have some?
Well, I was gonna give him a chance, but because the motion that I was intending on making, that I'm thinking that the board is gonna vote down.
all right, so based on,
Cause that would be the motion that I'd be making.
okay,
What's that?
that was your,
Yeah.
all right, so this motion or option 1, is to proceed with Heritage Construction and move forward with the new community building and new library as designed and presented to this board meeting at a cost of $1,134,355. This includes 2,000 square feet of heated space on the library side, ceramic tile floor in the bathroom, and wall tile up 4 feet from the floor in the bathroom. The library will also have a push ADA button entry, a glass rear door, an 8x10 office with 2 windows, which is now going to be an 8x12 office.
12 by
10 by 12.
Yeah.
8 by 12, right?
No, 10 by 12.
So
Sorry,
10 by 12.
10 by 12.
So I'll start that sentence over. The library will also have a push ADA button entry, a glass rear door, and 10 by 12 office with 2 windows, a front awning, a rear awning on their side. The library would need to have said funds to the town by Monday, February 10th, 2025, in order for the contract to be signed.
I actually think because this was a bid process, correct? I think that the award of the bid needs to be separated.
Well, this is just approving this option. The bid award will be separate.
Right.
That's just telling you what the amount is.
Stacy, I do have a question. Has the architectural plans been written? How long a process does that take?
This is a design build, and it won't take but a few weeks, we think. All right, so how we want to proceed?
So I just want to make sure I'm clear with this. So that we are gonna have an office and a storage room that's 10 by 12, and then the bathroom is gonna be an 8 by 10, correct?
Correct.
All right, okay. Well, I've heard your motion. I would like to just make a motion that we accept, that drawing with the two 10 by 12 rooms, the one 8 by 10 with a deep sink and the shelf, to go into the new, library.
Okay, I have a motion.
So now, we are separating the bid out, correct?
We can do it in two. We can do it in two.
Do you think that we need to? Cause I think we need to, because we always do.
Heritage is the lowest bid,
Right.
and I mean, I think he stated that Heritage was the lowest bid, and that's what is included with all this, all these upgrades and changes, all that's included in, we've had that discussion with them.
But the thing that I'm saying is, all of the bidding process that I've ever seen us do, that the award of the bid has always been separate.
That's fine.
Okay, well, let's just do it
So
separate.
I would probably just accept that option. One is basically the building, and then we can do this contract for
Okay,
the award later.
so I need to take out,
Heritage
yeah,
from the
to proceed.
heritage.
I just say with Heritage. So, would you like me to read this again? Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. Option one is to proceed and move forward with the new community building and new library as designed and presented in the board meeting at a cost of $1,134,355. I could say as designed and take the cost out if you wanted to.
That's fine. Because I actually think that's what I said, as designed.
All right, option one is to proceed and move forward with the new community building and new library as designed